something about when I was working in my job, I didn't feel tired. But it's when I was at a job, it's when I stopped. It felt different. Like, it's when I finally had space to actually feel tired. Like, this wasn't my first time. Like, over my career, like, I'd work for a few years and I would kind of stop for a few years too. Like, it'd be a sort of like forced sabbatical where, like, trying to find the next job always takes about 2 to 3 months. And over the years, it would start being super anxious about trying to find that next job. But over time, you realize it's really just like an opportunity to have some kind of recovery from that daily stress that you have to go through. You realize where it's kind of like the first step of that journey. And again, over the years when I would work, I would stop, I've grown more and more aware of this. But at the same time, it confused me more than anything, because you stopped work. So, like, you're confused with this feeling of exhaustion, of being tired. Because when you're in agency life, it's fast paced. Like, there's always something to do. There's always deadlines that were due yesterday. You're always constantly running on something. Deadlines, pressure, people, expectations. You think that's draining you when you're experiencing all that on the job, but in a sense it was kind of carrying you too. Like, I wouldn't say the fear of it, but there is some truth to that carries you to the finish line on any project that you're doing on the job. I've later come to realize where it's like that kind of momentum essentially hides exhaustion. Like I said, this tends to happen on like fast-paced environments. It kind of blurs the line between achievement versus well-being. You kind of get used to it, but I mean, like, everyone's human essentially. Like, you really gotta sit down sometimes and like realize this exhaustion. And for one reason or another, it's like it's not until you're fully stopped and off the job that you really start to realize these things. So, say like in the first few days or weeks of being free of a daily 9 to 5, in the fast-paced environments, like I mentioned before, like, you don't necessarily feel rested. Physically, you might feel rested, but like essentially, you kind of feel off. It's like it's this feeling that you weren't not tired before, where in this extended break from work, you just didn't have space to feel it up until then. Your body catches up when your schedule slows down, it seems. It's not that something's wrong. It's just the first time your system is quiet enough to really process and acknowledge everything that's going on, everything that you've been carrying, that you're free of now that you're out of the job. The thing is, I've been through this where, like, I think a lot of people mistake that for like losing motivation of some sort. Because you, like I mentioned, from having a job, there's a lot of this energy that's like carrying you through. Like, you always had something to respond to. There's a wealth of things to respond to. So, and now that I'm out of it, now that I'm out of that cycle, like, it's like as if it's like without it, I don't really know what to do with myself. Like anyone, my initial response to it was just stay busy. Always try and find something to do at the house. I mean, the joke here is like, when you know you're about to be free from a job, your brain comes up with all these things that you've always wanted to do. Like you had like this bucket list of like TV shows you wanted to go through, like games you wanted to finish, other hobbies and projects that you always wanted to do. But like that gets dried up pretty fast. That's kind of the joke of it. That that's really just like how you initially respond to things. You just try and find things to do. My house has never been more organized during the break from work. And in a sense, that's really like the first step to recovery. Like you're just trying to not replace that hole that you lost after leaving your job. In a way, I would think it's also trying to like exercise those muscles, because I don't know, you kind of have this feeling that you're useless without it. Like you're kind of losing your purpose in a sense. Where all of these realizations happened a few months back. I like to think I never really quite had a handle on it. Or at least not enough to explore or put energy into what could be next steps to, like after acknowledging what I'm going through, like what I really do, what would I really do? Because like I said, like habitually you just try and find new habits, new things to do. This is really not to concern anyone. It's really just an awareness that I had. Because I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I'm sure I'm not alone in this.